Okay, so picture this. You're settling in, maybe for dinner, or perhaps finally curling up with that book you've been meaning to read. Then it happens. That familiar buzz, the ping of a new notification, maybe, or just that automatic twitch to reach for your phone, even when you just put it down. It feels like you're perpetually on right, constantly pulled into this digital world that demands your attention, sometimes, well, to the exclusion of everything else. If that scenario hits a little too close to home, you are definitely not alone.
Oh, absolutely. It's a feeling that resonates deeply with so many of us, isn't it? I mean, in our hyper-connected lives, these digital devices, they've become utterly integral, almost an extension of ourselves. But this constant connectivity, well, yeah, undeniably offering immense convenience, it also comes with a pretty significant and often unseen psychological toll.
Absolutely. And that's why today we're embarking on a deep dive into healthy tech habits. Use devices mindfully, not constantly. We're going to explore the intricate, often surprising relationship between our digital lives and our overall well-being. Think of it as peeling back the layers on how technology isn't just a tool, but a real influence. We're drawing insights from, comprehensive research in health, psychology, personal habits, the works.
Right. And our mission today is really to uncover the psychological implications of this, well, incessant connectivity, to understand precisely how it impacts both your physical and mental health. And, most importantly, equip you with practical, actionable strategies. This isn't about ditching your devices entirely. That's not realistic for most. It's about making them serve you, empowering you to build a balanced, sustainable relationship with technology. It's about, taking back control.
Okay, so let's start by really unpacking this pervasive problem. Digital distraction. We all experience it, but what exactly is it? And maybe more importantly, when does it cross the line into something more concerning, like a genuine addiction?
Well, digital distraction, simply put, is when your phone or your laptop pulls you away from what you intended to be doing, or maybe what you should be doing. And this leads to everything from, missed deadlines at work to just feeling utterly drained, and even real physical aches and pains. Think of it as that endless stream of notifications, alerts, messages. It creates this constant sense of cognitive overload. It makes it incredibly difficult to stay on task or, complete complex projects.
And it's not just a minor annoyance, is it? It can spiral. I've heard about nomophobia, that actual fear of being without your mobile phone. It sounds like it's not just the phone itself sometimes, but often fueled by internet overuse, games, apps, those whole online worlds people get lost in.
Exactly. And this can manifest as really serious impulse control problems. We start to see virtual relationships feeling more important, or at least more immediate than real-life interactions. There's also the constant information overload from compulsive web surfing or news checking, doom scrolling, right? And of course, online compulsions like gaming, maybe gambling, or even just online shopping, which can lead to significant real-world problems, financial, job-related, social. It's truly startling how quickly these digital habits can start to dictate our lives.
What's fascinating here is the psychology behind why we're so drawn to this constant connectivity. We talk about doom scrolling or mindless checking, but why do we do it? Is it just a habit, or is there something deeper, maybe something almost involuntary driving us to keep reaching for that phone?
Well, that's where the design comes in. It's really crucial to understand how these technologies are actually designed to keep us hooked intentionally.
Yeah.
App developers, tech companies, they employ techniques like notifications, those little red bubbles, the persistent pings, gamification, which basically makes apps feel like games with rewards and progress bars, and complex algorithms specifically designed to keep us scrolling, keep us engaged, keep us spending more time on their platforms.
Right, the algorithms. And then there's the notorious fear of missing out. FOMO, that's a huge driver, isn't it? Compelling us to frequently check our devices. I've definitely felt that pang of anxiety if I haven't checked social media for a bit, wondering what I might be missing. Like something huge is happening without me.
That's a perfect example. And then you layer on the role of dopamine release in the brain. This isn't just about feeling good momentarily. It's about how your brain is being subtly rewired. Think of it like this. Your brain's reward system, which evolved for survival, is kind of being hijacked by these tiny digital pings and rewards. It makes you constantly chase that next digital hit. And you build up a tolerance, needing more and more screen time to get that same pleasurable feeling. So in essence, your device could become a sort of security blanket for underlying issues like stress, anxiety, or loneliness, which, ironically, often worsens these very issues because it hinders genuine face-to-face interaction. It's this neurological loop that can leave you feeling drained but still craving more, even when you know it's not really serving you.
Okay, so we've talked about how our devices are designed to hook us and how we're kind of predisposed to fall for it. But what's the real cost? What are these psychological hooks actually doing to our minds or emotions? It sounds like it's a lot more than just a little distraction.
It absolutely is, yeah. One of the most prevalent issues we see is the erosion of concentration and focus. These continuous digital interruptions really impair our ability to sustain attention. Think about your smartphone just sitting screen down on a table while you're trying to work or talk to someone. How often do you glance at it, wondering if you're missing something? That constant mental shifting fragments our cognitive processes. It leads to decreased productivity, increased stress. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has a hole in the bottom.
I can absolutely relate to that feeling of fragmented focus. It makes me wonder if our brains are constantly trying to multitask, even subconsciously, when we're trying to focus on one thing, how does that impact our ability to ever truly relax or switch off?
That's a critical point. And it's probably no surprise that incessant social media use is directly linked to increased rates of anxiety and depression. When you're constantly bombarded with these carefully curated, often idealized versions of other people's lives on platforms like Instagram or Facebook, it naturally fosters feelings of inadequacy, comparison anxiety, and
Yeah.
that FOMO we mentioned. It just gets worse, making you feel perpetually less than or like you're not measuring up.
And what about our relationships? I've heard the term phubbing, snubbing someone right in front of you in favor of your phone. That feels like a really direct erosion of connection.
Yes, phubbing is a growing concern that's literally phone snubbing. And it's more than just being rude. It's a direct message you're sending to the person you're with. You're basically saying your device is more important than them in that moment. It erodes trust, intimacy, often in ways we don't even realize we're doing it. It sacrifices quality time with loved ones. And in a professional context, it can seriously hinder collaboration and productivity. It also contributes heavily to technostress and burnout. It makes it so hard to disengage from work-related digital communication, even during personal time. We essentially carry the office around in our pockets, 24/7.
So you're saying that this constant connectivity can actually make us less productive and maybe even less creative. It's like having a persistent buzzing fly inside your head all the time.
That's a great analogy. Precisely right. The persistent buzz, the ping, the beep, it constantly distracts you from important tasks. It slows down your work and it interrupts those quiet moments. Those moments are crucial for creativity, for problem solving. Instead of being alone with our thoughts, letting our minds wander and maybe connect disparate ideas, we're always online, always connected. And there's also, somewhat worryingly, a link emerging between extensive social media use and negative personality traits like narcissism, fueled by endless selfies, constant sharing of personal minutia. It can create this feedback loop of self-absorption.
Wow. And it's not just in our heads either, is it? Our physical bodies definitely take a hit too. I remember one week I was glued to my screen finishing a project, and by Friday my neck felt like it was made of concrete and my eyes were just aching. It wasn't until I truly unplugged over the weekend that I realized how much my body was protesting.
Your body was certainly sending you a clear message. And yeah, a major physical impact is on our sleep patterns. Think of it like this. Your brain has a natural sleep switch controlled by a hormone called melatonin. Blue light emitted from screens, phones, tablets, laptops. It's like a bright floodlight hitting that switch. It basically tells your brain, stay awake, it's daytime, even when it's, midnight. It completely messes with your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, makes it difficult to fall asleep, and results in poor, fragmented sleep quality.
And the consequences of sleep deprivation are huge. It's not just about feeling tired the next day, is it?
Oh, they're far-reaching, definitely. Lack of quality sleep weakens your immune system, making you more susceptible to getting sick. It also impacts hormones that regulate your appetite and metabolism, which can lead to weight gain over time. And consistently poor sleep increases the risk of serious chronic conditions like diabetes and hypertension. Furthermore, excessive screen time often correlates directly with a more sedentary lifestyle, which, as we know, is linked to obesity, cardiovascular diseases, and musculoskeletal problems, neck pain, back pain, eye strain. Our bodies are designed to move, not just sit staring at a screen for hours on end.
Given all these challenges,
Yeah.
wow, it really makes you wonder how the younger generation, who are, digital natives, how are they navigating this landscape? They're growing up with devices woven into the very fabric of their lives, from schoolwork to friendships. It must be intense.
It presents unique and, frankly, intensely magnified challenges for them. Adolescents today face this constant connectivity, this instant access to social media, messaging apps, online content, in a way previous generations simply never experienced. This leads to significant disruptions in sleep for them too, and perhaps one of the most critical issues, Intensified peer comparison.
Right. I can only imagine how intense that peer comparison must feel on social media. Everything is so curated, so filtered, it rarely reflects real life accurately.
Exactly. And this constant, often unrealistic social comparison, it just intensifies feelings of inadequacy. It can impair self-esteem, heighten social pressures, and significantly increase mental health risks. We see links to rising rates of anxiety and depression in teens. Beyond the social pressures, digital distractions during educational activities like homework or even in the classroom directly hinder concentration and academic performance. It leads to reduced learning efficiency. Imagine trying to focus on a textbook chapter when your friends are having a very active group chat right there on your phone.
And they're particularly susceptible to digital addiction too, aren't they? It feels like the perfect storm of still developing brain functions and constant, readily available stimulation.
They really are. And this susceptibility can lead to impaired social skills development, less face-to-face practice, decreased physical activity, and real challenges in developing a healthy, stable self-identity away from their online persona. We also see increased exposure to things like cyberbullying and other online pressures, which contribute heavily to stress, anxiety, and can leave deep emotional scars. Parents, too, face immense challenges in finding effective ways to supervise and guide, which can sometimes strain family dynamics. Add to that digital fatigue just mental exhaustion from continuous device exposure, leading to decreased motivation, irritability. It's a constant battle for them to disengage.
So how do we guide them through this? Many of us might be familiar with the American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP's guidelines for screen time, but let's be honest, how many of us actually follow them perfectly? Or even, maybe more importantly, understand the spirit behind them, beyond just the raw time limits? Because the real insight here isn't just the minutes on the clock, it's...
Precisely. The real insight is much more about quality over quantity and about engagement. For the very young, children younger than 18 months, the AAP strongly discourages any media use, really, except maybe video chatting with family members. For toddlers, 18 to 24 months, if you do introduce digital media, make sure it's high-quality educational content, and crucially, always participate with them. Avoid solo media use. It should be interactive. And then for ages 2 to 5, the recommendation is to limit screen use to about 1 hour per day of high-quality programming. Again, the emphasis is on interaction, co-viewing, not just passive consumption.
That makes so much sense. It's not just about turning off the clock, but about what they're actually watching or interacting with during that time.
Absolutely. And when it comes to practical tips, preview programs, games, and apps yourself before letting your child use them. Seek out interactive options that engage them rather than just passive viewing. Use parental controls where appropriate and supervise their activities, especially when they're younger. It's also really important to discuss the content with them. Ask questions, engage their critical thinking, try to avoid fast-paced, violent, or overly distracting material, and importantly, eliminate advertising on apps if possible. Young children really struggle to differentiate ads from actual content, and those targeted ads can be incredibly manipulative.
Okay, and for older children, how do we set limits effectively? Because it feels like a constantly moving target as they grow and their needs change.
It definitely evolves. You're right. Encourage unplugged, unstructured playtime. Real-world play is vital. Create tech-free zones or times in the house. Mealtime's a big one, the hour before bed. Maybe even keeping devices out of bedrooms entirely. Discourage media use during homework time focus is key. Set, and importantly, enforce reasonable daily or weekly screen time limits. There are apps that can help control device usage if needed. The goal is to help them build healthy habits, not just impose rigid rules forever.
Right, and it's not just about the rules, is it? It's also about teaching them how to navigate the digital world safely and thoughtfully themselves, building that kind of inner compass.
Exactly. That's where digital literacy becomes so crucial. Talk to your kids about content you haven't approved, or using devices without filters. Encourage critical thinking about online accuracy. Help them understand that not everything they see online is true. Explain that media is human-made, often with specific viewpoints, and that platforms collect data, often for advertising. Teach appropriate online behavior. Absolutely no sexting, no cyberbullying, and the golden rule. Never share anything online they wouldn't want the entire world to see, potentially forever. And always, always role model healthy tech habits yourself. Your actions speak so much louder than any lecture you could give.
Okay, this sounds like a lot of potential problems, and it can feel a bit overwhelming, maybe even doom and gloom. But the good news is there are solutions. There are ways forward. Let's talk about cultivating those healthy tech habits. It sounds like it all starts with this idea of mindful technology use. What does that actually mean?
It does. Mindful technology use essentially means engaging with your tech with intention, with awareness, and with purpose. It means ensuring that how you use your tech aligns with your personal values and goals. It's really about being deliberate, rather than impulsive or reactive. This practice is absolutely crucial for maintaining a healthy relationship with technology. It promotes presence, helps you balance technological advancement with personal connection, with mental well-being. It's fundamentally about choosing when and how you engage, rather than just defaulting to picking up the phone whenever there's a spare moment.
And the benefits are pretty compelling when we actually manage to take that step back, aren't they? It's not just about what you might lose by being constantly connected, but what you actively gain by being more mindful.
Oh, absolutely. Practicing digital detoxes, even short ones, and building mindful habits leads to profoundly improved mental health. We see reduced anxiety, lower rates of depression. You'll likely experience better sleep quality, especially by reducing that blue light exposure before bed. There's also significantly increased focus and productivity simply because you're eliminating constant distractions. It genuinely enhances real-life relationships. It reduces overall stress levels. And it creates more free time for things you enjoy, hobbies, self-care, exercise. Plus, physically, you often see benefits like better posture and reduced eye strain. It really is a win-win situation.
Okay, so let's get practical. For our toolkit of strategies, where should someone begin if they're looking to make a change, maybe starting this week?
A great place to start is by setting clear boundaries. Designate specific times for checking your devices. For example, try avoiding screens for the first hour after you wake up and the last hour before you go to bed. Make it a non-negotiable rule, just like brushing your teeth. Another powerful boundary is creating technology-free zones in your home, maybe the dining room during meals or the bedroom entirely. This enhances focus during tasks and encourages screen-free interactions and better rest. These aren't just arbitrary rules. Think of them as creating sacred spaces for connection and rest.
Quality over quantity, that really resonates. It's not about aiming for zero screen time necessarily, but about being intentional with the time you are online.
Exactly. Focus on consuming content that genuinely enriches your knowledge, your skills, or your well-being. Think educational videos, insightful podcasts, articles that make you think. Be selective about your apps. Maybe do an app audit. If an app consistently makes you feel stressed, anxious, or inadequate, it's probably not serving you well. Consider limiting its use or deleting it, and unsubscribe from notifications that don't contribute positively to your day or aren't essential. This helps align your tech habits with your actual personal goals, not the goals of the app developers.
And taking breaks, that's something we often forget to do, isn't it? Especially when we're deep into work or maybe just scrolling endlessly.
So crucial for both mental well-being and sustained productivity. Implement the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes you spend looking at a screen, take a 20-second break to look at something 20 feet away. It really helps combat eye strain and gives your brain a tiny reset. And definitely schedule in longer breaks throughout the day for things like exercise, stretching, or mindfulness practices. Get up, move around, go for a short walk outside if possible. Don't just switch from your computer screen to your phone screen during your break.
How can we even know if we're making progress, though? It feels like these habits can creep back in so subtly sometimes.
That's where monitoring your screen time comes in handy. Most smartphones and computers now have built-in features that track your usage patterns, which apps you use most, how many times you pick up your phone. Use these tools not to judge yourself, but simply to gain awareness. See where your time is actually going. Then you could set realistic, achievable goals and identify specific areas where you might want to cut back. The more aware you are of your current habits, the easier it becomes to make intentional changes. It's kind of like looking at your bank statement to understand your spending habits. You need the data first.
Okay, and the mindful part of mindful tech use, what does that really look like in the day-to-day? How do we actively practice that presence you mentioned?
It means paying active attention to how different apps and different types of content affect your mood and your productivity while you're using them and afterwards. If you notice scrolling Instagram always leaves you feeling kind of down or distracted, acknowledge that. Maybe limit it or change who you follow. And when you're with other people, make a conscious effort to be fully present. Put your phone away, or at least silence it and turn it face down. Focus on the conversation. Make eye contact. This small shift strengthens personal connections in really profound ways. Also, try to maintain a balanced digital diet. Just like with food, diversify your screen time. Include educational, entertaining, and maybe inspirational content. Actively avoid content that consistently fosters negative comparisons or makes you feel bad. You wouldn't eat only digital junk food all day, right?
I know a lot of people try doing a digital detox, maybe a weekend off or even longer. Does that really work, or is it just a temporary fix that doesn't stick?
Digital detoxes can be highly effective, actually, even short ones. Schedule regular breaks from all devices, maybe an evening, a full day, or a weekend. Dedicate that time to offline activities. Reading a physical book, exercising, spending time in nature, hobbies. These periods are really essential for resetting your relationship with technology and improving mental clarity. Even just a few hours fully unplugged can feel like a mini vacation for your brain, breaking the cycle of constant stimulation.
And notifications. They're probably one of the biggest culprits for pulling us out of the moment, aren't they? They just hijack your attention constantly.
Definitely. You have to be strategic about them. Go through your settings and disable all non-essential notifications. Do you really need an alert every time someone likes your photo? Probably not. Create designated times for checking email or messages rather than reacting to every single ping. Reclaiming your attention from these constant interruptions is incredibly powerful. And alongside managing tech, make sure to actively embrace tech-free activities. Find hobbies you enjoy that don't involve a screen cooking, playing a musical instrument, gardening, painting, whatever it is. These offer a crucial break from digital stimulation, encourage creativity, and foster deeper, more authentic connections with yourself and the world around you.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. We've talked a lot about the problems technology creates, how it distracts us. But here's a thought that might seem completely counterintuitive. What if we could actually use technology to help us focus better? To do that deep work everyone talks about achieving. It almost sounds like fighting fire with fire, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, and it's a valid approach. You can actually leverage certain types of technology to your advantage in managing, well, other technology. For instance, use distraction blocker apps or website blockers, things like Freedom, Cold Turkey, Stay Focused, to prevent access to your known time-wasting sites or apps during dedicated work periods. Set it and forget it. Ambient noise apps like Noisely or Focus at Will can create soundscapes like rain sounds or cafe chatter that can improve focus for some people and block out external distractions. Time trackers, such as Rescue Time, can analyze your work patterns automatically, helping you understand when you're most productive and identifying where your time is really going online. There are even clever app features designed for intentionality, like Wall Habit's Hold to Unlock feature that makes you pause before opening an app, or Regain's ability to schedule specific app screen time limits. It's about using the technology strategically to reinforce your intentions, not just reacting to its defaults.
And finally, just checking in with ourselves regularly. A bit of self-assessment to keep us on track. Because this isn't really a one-and-done solution, is it? It's an ongoing practice.
No, absolutely not. It's an ongoing process of learning, adjusting, and adapting as technology itself evolves and as our own lives change. Regularly take a few moments to reflect on how your technology habits are affecting your daily life, your mood, your productivity, your relationships. Journaling about your experiences can provide really valuable insights. It helps you notice patterns you might otherwise miss and identify areas for continuous improvement. Just ask yourself simple questions. Did this interaction serve me well? Did scrolling for that hour align with my values or goals for the day?
Okay, before we wrap up, we touched on blue light earlier, mainly its negative impact on sleep. But it's not all bad, is it? There seems to be a nuance to blue light that's worth exploring beyond just the sleep disruption aspect.
That's a really important point, actually. It raises a good question. While blue light from screens does undeniably interfere with melatonin production, making it harder to sleep if you're exposed late at night, research also shows it can have positive effects during the day. Blue light exposure at the right times can actually increase cognitive performance, boost alertness, and improve reaction time. This can be incredibly useful for tasks requiring intense focus, quick decision-making, maybe even things like injury prevention in sports where reaction time matters.
Interesting. So it's not something to be demonized or avoided completely then. Like anything, it seems, it's about context and timing.
Not at all. It can also potentially increase positive mood and decrease feelings of irritability, tension, and anxiety for some people, contributing to overall well-being during the day. The key takeaway here really is timing. We should absolutely be mindful about restricting the use of blue light-emitting devices for, say, approximately 2 to 3 hours before bedtime to preserve sleep quality. That's crucial. But during the daytime, those same wavelengths might actually be our allies, helping with focus and mood. It's about strategic use, not complete avoidance.
Okay, so to bring it all home then, the central lesson from our deep dive today, it seems, isn't really about eliminating technology altogether. That's probably not realistic or even desirable for most of us. It's much more about empowering you, the listener, to use it with real intention and awareness, to make sure it truly enhances your life, rather than letting it run on autopilot and potentially detract from it.
Exactly. By understanding its complex impacts, both the good and the bad, And by diligently implementing some of these mindful habits we've discussed, you really can achieve profound improvements. Better mental clarity, better sleep, stronger real-life relationships, and yeah, even increased productivity. It's all about finding that personal balance where technology becomes a valuable tool that serves your goals, rather than becoming a demanding master that dictates your time and attention.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is this. How will you choose to redefine your relationship with the digital world, starting today, so that your devices serve your well-being rather than distracting from it? We encourage you to maybe pick just one small step, one strategy from today's discussion, and try to cultivate that healthier tech habit this week. See how it feels. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive, and we look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you next time.